Peace, my name is Avon Bullets. Make sure you like this video, share this video, reach me a donation if you can. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and stay to the end. Okay, family, I've been thinking about this video. I've been thinking about how should I approach this video. I don't know how, so I'm just gonna put it out the way it comes out. It comes out, and if you have any questions, you can ask me in the comment section. Well, now, I've been thinking about doing this video. I think I did a video like this before, but I feel I need to do it again. I was on Clubhouse, and yes, you can follow me on Clubhouse. Invite me to any rooms or whatever. I'm about to start hosting rooms on my own. But anyway, I was on Clubhouse, and we were having a conversation about racial consciousness, racial identity, national consciousness. And people seem to be confused on what these terms mean. Because I was trying to explain to people that ADOS is not only a hate group, its ideology goes against everything African Americans stand for. Because it's preaching to you a nationalistic identity, a national consciousness, something that black people in America has never had. Our identity has always been racial. It's been racial since day one, and it's racial today. Unbroken line. And they just kept not understanding what I was saying. Either they were pretending or they just didn't get it, because they kept saying, how you gonna say black people never saw themselves as black people? I said, no, you're not getting it. So maybe you might not have got it neither. So I'm just gonna play a clip and see maybe if this can help explain it better than I can.
The first is a question of how to construct a group identity, national identity versus racial identity. The people of Wakanda are extremely nationalistic. They view the world as divided into two groups, Wakandans and everybody else. This leads to a Wakanda first attitude among many citizens. They've built walls, refuse refugees, reject trade, and offer no foreign aid, all in the name of protecting Wakanda because they value the lives of those who share the same heritage and culture as themselves. But Killmonger, having grown up in America, has developed a strong sense of racial identity. For him, because Wakandans have the same skin color as blacks in the rest of the world, Wakandans should see themselves as part of a global black community. Among the first thing he says when he takes the throne is something like, all around the world, people that look like us are suffering.
And I will have all the links to the videos of every clip I play, and I recommend you go watch the whole thing for yourself. But anyway, family, yes, that's what I'm trying to say. And that was one of the points I brought up when the movie first came out, and I'm happy to see I wasn't the only person who noticed that one of the major subtexts of the movie was race consciousness versus national consciousness, or race identity versus national identity. Because as you can see right here, this is the definition of race consciousness. Because racial identity is pretty much individualistic, like how somebody identifies as an individual or whatever. But the consciousness is how the group identifies. And you can see the definition right here on your screen. So, and this is from lexico.com. So yes, that's what black people in America have, always will have. This whole nonsense with this whole ADOS, FBA goofballness about somehow black people reinventing some mythical history of black people having some separate, distinct identity and then magically getting tricked out of it. And then now they take it, and now we're taking it back and we're reclaiming it. It's goofy. Because if you ever been to the ADOS one-on-one website, they originally said we are trying to redefine blackness in America. Then they switched it to we are reclaiming blackness. Total fascist move. Making up a fake history and then creating fake enemies in the present. Because nobody can explain how black people got rid of this so-called national identity that they used to have and then swapped it out for a racial identity. But anyway, family, another thing I would like to talk about is the name African American. black and black American, because people seem to think that seem to not know what these terms mean. Anybody who is black, as in this African descent, whether they were born here or not, if you're in America, you can identify as an African American. You can identify as black. You can even identify as black American, as you're about to see now in this clip.
We should probably begin by addressing the name of the course itself, Black American History. Over the course of American history, the language used to describe black people has changed and evolved over time and will no doubt continue to change and evolve moving forward. Across the United States today, the term black and African American are often used interchangeably, and there's a good chance that we'll use them interchangeably here as well. Typically, African American is meant to refer to people of African descent who were born in or are living in the United States. In the US, there are black people whose ancestors were enslaved many generations ago and who are unable to trace their lineage to a specific place of origin. And there are black people who immigrated to the United States just a few years ago from countries all over the world. While people's histories and experiences may be different, each of these groups of people and everyone in between is black. And that plurality of experiences is both a remarkable and just a beautiful thing. As we'll discover, there's a great deal of fluidity with regard to how these terms are used and who they apply to. And delving into this will really help us understand how race is a social construct, but also one that has very real cultural, sociological, and political implications.
Now, let me break that down a little bit more. First, again, the term African American has and always will be a term that refers to any black person in America. Since the term was first used to now, that's the primary definition of it. Now, when people say African American, that's why you have to sometimes clarify what you mean. That's why when people say, I'm talking about African Americans, and by African Americans, I mean people whose ancestors were enslaved on this land, in this country. That's why you need to clarify. Same thing with black. When I say black people, sometimes I need to clarify which black people I'm talking about. Because if you just say black or you just say African American, it's open to interpretation. What are you talking about? Unless you start naming specific things. And it's the same thing with black American, because some people seem to be confused and think that, well, I don't want no confusion, so I'll just say black American, because everybody knows black. When you say black American, you're only talking about people whose ancestors were enslaved in this land, and that's also incorrect. Because people whose ancestors weren't enslaved on this land can also identify as black American. Because black is the race and they are in America. So you can't tell them they can't. Again, these terms can be used interchangeably. Again, black, African American, black American could all be the same thing depending on how you're talking. They can be different things, which again, you always have to define what you mean when you're speaking and you're using these terms. And that's also why the ADOS hate group wants people to identify as ADOS. They want you to take the group name and try to make it your actual ethnic name, which is goofy and kind of similar to the Nazis taking their flag and then trying to make it the German flag for all Germans. Because ADOS has, and FBA, so when I say ADOS, I'm talking about FBA and all its derivatives, have already moved into full-blown fascist territory, and that's another video. But I like to end this video here. Like, share, subscribe, drop me a comment, tell me did I get it right? Did you like this video? You need some more information? You need me to clarify anything? And on that note, family, peace.